If you haven't figured it out by now, my man's Newt Scamander, he's on the spectrum. The aversion to eye contact and physical touch, the social awkwardness, the brilliance in one particular subject. Newt has autism, and as a speducator, it's a beautiful thing to see. What up, family? It's your boy Amaru back with another review, and this time I am reviewing Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. This is the second installment in the Fantastic Beasts series, and we get the entire crew back. And this time they're joined by a young Albus Dumbledore, played by Jude Law. He's recruiting Newt Scamander, played by Eddie Redmayne, to track down the escaped convict, Gellert Grindelwald, who's played by Johnny Depp. This movie's an interesting one, because as a big Harry Potter fan, a Pottermore, a Potterhead, what do we call ourselves? I don't know. But as a huge fanatic of the film, I loved all the references and the nostalgia that called back to the original series. And the story really leaned in to its connection to the wizarding world J.K. Rowling has already created. But if you're not very knowledgeable of Harry Potter lore, you may be more confused than Jessica Simpson eating some tuna.
Is this chicken what I have, or is this fish?
You may not even know if the movie is good or not, because it's like you're watching a foreign language flick without the captions. So the film tries to recapture that magic by banking on the strength of the first entry, the connection you get with the characters you fell in love with in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Now, even though we all know Harry has always been a dumbass, Newt and Eddie Redmayne still have some big shoes to fill trying to go toe-to-toe with him as the new lead wizard. But the fact that Eddie chooses to play Newt as he does makes him unique and interesting and brings us closer to his world, whether or not it's the world of beasts that he takes care of, or in relation to how Newt chooses to be a part of, or not be a part of, the impending war that's looming over the wizarding world. Dan Fogler returns as Nomad's Jacob Kowalski, and being the only non-magical member of the crew, he's still really relatable and extremely hilarious. Alison Sudol also returns as Queenie Goldstein, and she is still as innocent and sweet as ever, and her relationship with Jacob is the most successful in making us care about the characters in the film. Unfortunately, there's not much to care about the last returning member of the original foursome from the first entry, Tina, played by Katherine Waterston. In the last movie, she was kind of the co-lead, a little bit of an authority figure as Aura trying to rectify the mistakes she made and get her job back. But in this one, she's relegated to nothing more than a MacGuffin love interest that moved Newt's character forward in his plot. And truthfully, the way they did it is kind of a cop-out of Newt's character and a complete waste of any potential Tina had from the first movie. There are a lot of standouts in the new characters we're introduced to, including Zoe Kravitz, Lita Lestrange. We got a reference to her in the first film, and now we fully see who she is as an old love interest to Newt. And she's more than just that in the film. She's probably the most interesting character with the best character arc, and it's great to see a Slytherin that's more than just the evil stereotype we see all Slytherins as. Johnny Depp? Yes, Johnny Depp is trash, but you gotta admit, he's an amazing actor. And he plays Grindelwald exactly as I pictured the character to be. Yes, he uses violence without hesitation, but what makes him the biggest threat is the fervor that he inspires in his followers and how he can galvanize the masses with just his words. But the best new addition is Jude Law as a young Dumbledore. He hits this perfect sweet spot as a young wizard who doesn't know the full potentials of his greatness, but knows he has that greatness. So we get more of a cockiness than the wisdom we saw with Michael Gambon and Richard Harris as the old Dumbledore. That makes him really charming, very charismatic, and someone you want to follow, even though you can see there's some pain in his past. And Jude Law was very, just excellent in capturing all of this. There are so many more characters, both old and new, that this movie tries to pack in that you latch on to some and completely forget about others. And that really encompasses the problems that the Crimes of Grindelwald has. There are so many plot lines and side stories that the movie tries to intertwine that you get lost in the weeds. It makes the pacing really, really slow, and it just makes the movie feel only like a setup movie, like not its own standalone story. They're just trying to make you interested for the 3 movies to come and forget to get you invested in what's on the screen in front of you. And because of that, especially if you don't connect to the nostalgia that they try to create, it can be a bit boring and you get lost in what's in front of you. They do try to salvage the pacing problem with the magic, the beasts, and the action, but the spells are so vast that if you don't know them already, they kind of seem to come out of nowhere. The beasts, they actually do a really good job of intertwining the new stories they're trying to introduce with the foundation of it being called Fantastic Beasts. They're really cute. Some are scary, and when they're there, they do grab onto you. But I'd like to see more. And then lastly, the action. It's fun at points, and that opening scene was amazing. But after that, it's a bit anticlimactic. And it just becomes a lot of work for you to try to find the really good and interesting parts through all the different intertwining stories. And in the end, if you're not a Harry Potter fan and you don't find it interesting and fun to look for those things, it may be more work than you're looking for in a movie. In the end, whatever you go into the movie expecting, you're gonna find. If you're a huge fan, you're gonna find a very fun return to the Wizarding World you love. If you're a casual fan, there's a 50-50 shot that you either will enjoy it or you find it very boring and slow. And if you go into it with no knowledge, you'll leave right back out of the movie with no knowledge, just as confused as you were before. Either way, wherever you're at, this movie leaves a lot on the table and the series has yet to reach its potential. So here's hoping the next 3 entries find its footing. With that, I'm giving this movie 7 out of 10 replays of when Hermione beats Harry over the head with a newspaper. Because yet again, Harry is a...
Okay, sorry.
Alright, family, that was my review for Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. Please give me some comments in the comment section below. Tell me how you feel about the movie. If you thought I was spot on, if you think I'm completely crazy and enjoying it, you think I'm completely crazy and bashing it. Also hit the subscribe button, get notifications on when I'm posting a new video. And as always, the written review is in the link below, as well as all the social medias. Like, share, and again, subscribe, and I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.